And the thing we're gonna be talking about, chat, or let me just like get like some music up. So what we're gonna be talking about today, chat, is we got the heads up notice for the EVO 2025 registration leaderboard as of March 14th, 2025. These are the early bird registrations. There's like, you know, early registrations for, you know, signing up for like a tournament for like EVO. And then there's like the fully finalized results all the way to, let's say, like July or maybe even like May. So let's take a look at like the early bird registrations. Let's look at like the early birds. So let's start with the bottom. Bottom looks like my camera is like covering it. Number 8 is Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah, to be fair, to no one's like surprise, Mortal Kombat is definitely like down in the dumps, right? Not a lot of people are, you know, watching it or, you know, superly enthused about it ever since like Mortal Kombat 1 came out. I think like a year ago, almost like 2 years. It garnished a lot of like, you know, negativity and a lot of like bugs and a lot of like things and just overall WB-ness over the years, upcharging things from like, you know, costumes and things like that, you know. But the gameplay is like improving, you know, bit by bit, with like the last 3 character updates with Ghostface and Conan and T-1000. So yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat is fun. It's just like, it's kind of like the damage has been done sort of thing, and a lot of like the majority that were like excited for Mortal Kombat 1 now just don't like jive with it. The community, the NetherRealm community, the Mortal Kombat 1 community supports it through and through, and that's very admirable, right? Very admirable. But I can see why it's like all the way down to like, you know, Ace, you know, things like that. Kind of like the same thing for like last year. Mortal Kombat 1 was Ace or like 7th last year, you know? It's just unfortunately so. 7th would be Under Night in Birth. Under My Mama. I have no clue about yo Under Me Mama, yo Jimbo McBimbo, Under Night in Birth at all, right? Like, this is like a game that the Khaiza has like only 1% touched. Only 1% touch, and that was like, you know, playing with a friend like in my alma mater's like college game room, you know, just playing with like friends, some like casuals, just trying out other things. So I'm like, it's cool, but I did not like I did not become enthused to grab it myself and play it. No, but Under Night in Birth making it at 7th, right? It's definitely gonna be at prime time Sunday, to say the least. And then we got, oh, wow. I'm happy, but also shocked. That shit is 6th place. I'm trying to like think about it, right? Yeah, 6th place is like not really like the harsh word of like, you know, deserving. There were so many people that were like really down for the MVC fighting collection that they wanted to get their hands on it, and especially like old heads, you know, really wanted to get MVC, Wong, Yipes, and things like that. Those players like that. But that's also like a bad thing, because specifically Justin Wong made like a reputation for himself that he was known as the Wazzler and was just bodying people left and right with MVC2, that he became the #1 charted player in every single port of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you know, in existence of this like modern port collection. Right? Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is fun, right? It's not gonna make it to like prime time Sunday, right? And this is like the 3rd time that, you know, a collection, not a collection, but more like, you know, an old school game is making it into like EVO. The first one being like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? This was like the first time that happened 2 years ago. And, you know, it's cool that there's a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom fans out there and they enjoyed the game, but the problem was the tournament itself. A lot of people were expecting like, you know, underdogs or like, you know, big league like tourneys and stuff like that. Ultimately, what happened in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at that like top 6 was not Morgan Doomstrider. No. It was Zero May Cry, Zero Dante Virgil. Right, that's like the OP team, and it was Jabril that won top 6 that year. And yeah, that's like, it definitely goes to show like a testament that, yeah, what were y'all expecting? Some like like dog like story that you were expecting Marvel 3 to get like a sudden like balance patch, and you get to see characters like Firebrand or Arthur or things like that? No, dog. No. This is an old game, and that's not been like updated for like God knows how long, right? Officially, not officially updated. If you want like an updated version, you could go play like the modded version, right? Which is, you know, available right now if you have Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And yeah, you can definitely play not just like an updated like version of the game, but also modded characters, right? Rashid, Guile, Asura, Batsu, Gambit, Venom, Carnage, right? You could definitely play those characters in that game. But no, this is officially licensed, so companies are going to be looking at the game, and that's going to be the game. Year after that was like Street Fighter Third Strike. You think we're going to see like Remy or like Sean or Ken or things like that? No. We did see a Hugo in there, courtesy of Hayao, but for the most part, it was nothing but Chuns and Yuns. There was one Ken only, but that's the definition of Third Strike. It was Chun and Yun, and this is gonna be the same like effect that's gonna happen in Marvel 2. What's like top tier in Marvel 2, right? Magneto, Storm, Sentinel, Magneto, Storm, Psylocke, Cable, Sentinel, Captain Commando, right? Just only like the toppest of top tiers. No shred of like, you know, any low tiers coming into this like tournament. These are like gonna be some sweaty matches, some legacy sweaty matches. Don't know who's gonna be like eventually in the top six or top 8. Oh no, it's gonna be top 8. That's right, dude. This is an old school, old as fuck fighting game. You're not gonna find any like balance updates like Street Fighter 6 or Tekken or even like Guilty Gear Strive or Grand Blue Fantasy. No, you're not gonna see that in here in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at all. This is an old game, and the game's already been like figured out. People are going to be coming in here and playing for money. Money is on the line, right? And dude, there are going to be some sweaty motherfuckers out there that are going to be playing their best, unless you get like a Justin Wong situation, if he's going to like compete in a tourney, and they're going to run the smoke with like low tiers because he's that good at the game, unless he resorts to locking in and play like his own top tier team. This is the nature of old school games, especially fighting games, that they're just gonna be like figured out, and they're just gonna play like how they play, right? Just very neutered down. These are the best characters in the game. I want my money. I want my money. I'm like overjoyed that like it got 6th place, so it could definitely be in the day 2 time frame of EVO 2025. Like, I don't know if this is going to be like a closeout for the day, or that Guilty Gear is going to be the closeout. I mean, we're going to talk about Guilty Gear in a moment, but the fact that it's not like day 1 or, you know, like let's say day primetime Sunday, you know, definitely speaks volumes that like, hey, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like Street Fighter Third Strike. It's one of the fighting games for competition, competitive sportsman, quote unquote sportsmanship, right? I'm happy that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 made it to 6th of all places. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I mean, yeah, I don't know much about Grand Blue Fantasy. I know they got like the new character Sandalfom, or like I'll just call him like Sandals McGee. I know they got the new character Sandals McGee. It's like a edgelord looking dude. Yeah, like making it at 5th, it's kind of like, you know, the standard Grand Blue Fantasy Versus experience. It was day 2 of last year, and it was day 2 the year before that. So it's kind of like, you know, it's fitting the tradition. What I'm really shocked about is Guilty Gear Strive. Oh my god, right? So many years. Well, not so many years. Only like, it feels like so many years at this point. But Guilty Gear Strive has always been like in the top 3 of Primetime Sunday, which I think maybe it could still be Primetime Sunday, given like some things. This could definitely be like, you know, hey, wake your ass up in the morning. It's 11 a.m., babe. It's Guilty Gear Strive top 8. I'm glad that it's like number 4, right? Because you want to know what's at the top 3? Number 1 being like, you know, Street Fighter 6. This is of course makes sense because of the EVO branding, right? They've been hella 100% Capcom oriented, Capcom sponsored, Capcom funded, right? They're definitely going to make Street Fighter 6, you know, at the number 1 prime spot, despite being the most, you know, the critically acclaimed, the most popular fighting game there is now, Tekken 8, which, you know, it's still good that it got 2nd place, but, you know, you're not gonna be beating like, you know, Capcom games, especially like ones that's like, you know, are new, are like super popular, right? They're gonna definitely be like at the number 1 spot. Tekken 8, you know, still, even though like it is second fiddle to like Capcom Street Fighter 6, you gotta give it that like, yeah, Tekken 8 is still like at number 2, right? But Guilty Gear Strive bumped down, and what got replaced in the top 3? Wake up, everybody. It's Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, man. Oh my god, that's awesome. The fact that Fatal Fury made it all the way to top 3, man. This game is fucking awesome. Despite my, you know, small grievances with Fatal Fury, and, you know, just like online and like, you know, some like inputs and things like that, Fatal Fury is definitely like, you know, a crowd pleaser. It's definitely gets like, you know, the crowd hella like, you know, jolted up and excited for Fatal Fury. This is like SNK's biggest game, right? They poured in a lot of attention and focus and time into making the game that looking like, you know, gorgeous the way it is, combat of how like, you know, exciting things are, offensive and defensive mechanics, right? And just overall fun Fatal Fury has. Oh my god, man, I am not surprised, but I'm also super fucking happy that like Fatal Fury is, you know, in with the big leagues of Street Fighter 6 and Tekken. This is like, you know, very reminiscent to like King of Fighters 15 when it first came out. When it first came out, it was Primetime Sunday next to like, I think King of Fighters 15 was like 2022? Yeah, 2022. Right. So it was next to like Street Fighter 5. It was next to Tekken 7. It was definitely next to Guilty Gear Strive in like, you know, in terms of like, you know, just overall viewership. It was like SNK is back, KOF is back. You know, this is like deja vu. We're in the year of 2025. It was like 3 years later. Now it's like, all right, granddad, time to step down. Let the grandson take up, right? Fatal Fury City of the Wolves taking over Guilty Gear Strive and making it 4th place. That's hella like shocking, because Guilty Gear Strive has always been in the top 3 scenario, right? You know, Guilty Gear Strive in its prime would always be like, you know, the tournament closeout. But now it's like, we slowly see like the effects of like Guilty Gear Strive, like competitive play. It still is fun. there are still updates to the game. There's still a lot of people that play Guilty Gear Strive, right? But it's not the same as it was, like, you know, a few years ago when it was at the top. I mean, to be fair, Guilty Gear Strive was like a pioneering, revolutionary fighting game that came out around the COVID era. Sorry, not around. After the COVID era. Like, I think it was like 1 year or 1 year after. Everybody was playing Guilty Gear Strive. Even Marvel heads, even Mortal Kombat heads. Because there was no other game to satiate our fighting game needs that had like good rollback, that had good online. Everyone was forced to be careful, mask up, shut up, don't cough, don't spit, right? That was that one game, Guilty Gear Strive. But now, over time, it has made like some changes, considering like it's like fourth place to the begrudgingly like many, right? Considering why it's like in fourth place, you know, that's like my only assumption. But yeah, Guilty Gear Strive feels like, you know, its wings have been clipped. That it's not the great, that it's not the GOAT as it was before, you know? I mean, of course, that's like, you know, right? My assumption, it could still be good, right? I don't know what like updates they made, but you know, other than like Wild Assault, right? It's interesting to look at Guilty Gear Strive on where it is as of like this moment. And that Fatal Fury, and back to like Fatal Fury, man, it's so cool to be SNK again, right? Like, just SNK is, you know, legit like coming back. They've been garnishing, they've been like, you know, working on their element, right? And they've made it all the way back to like, you know, prime time spot. No longer will we, you know, stay in the KOF hells of like, you know, prime time of like opening or midday. Now we can play with like the big boys. But these are like the leaderboards, right? These are the leaderboards of EVO 2025, you know? Most of them are, you know, like as expected. A few of them are like, you know, shockers, right? But it is like to be expected, right? And these are like, you know, once again, these are early bird registrations, right? This is just as of March 14th, 2025. We don't know the exact numbers until we get like a full like stat report around May or July. But considering what this like suggests to us, oh man, we can have a pretty good idea of like, yo, if there's gonna be a major uptick swing of Marvel 2 players taking over Grand Blue, there could be like increased more, or maybe this could, Tekken 8 could maybe bump out. I don't think they're gonna do that though. I don't think they're gonna do that. It would be awesome too, because Guilty Gear was #1 spot for 2-3 years. But I would love to see like Tekken bump out Street Fighter 6. We will see. We will see what lies ahead.